Hey Gemini family, what is going on? Thanks so much for tuning in. Welcome to the channel. I am Deborah. This is Purusha Intuitive, and we are looking at the energy for you guys this week. Oh, heartbroken. Popped out. That's so sad. If that is a message for you, just sending all the love, good vibes your way. It never feels good to feel on the down and out, you know? The grief, the pain, the sadness, it can be really overwhelming and really suffocating. We do move through, especially when we put our energy out there, you know, exploring new opportunities, new life. It doesn't just have to be romantic relationship for you, right? It can be anything. Anything we found ourselves really wanting, hoping it would pan out a certain way, and dealing with a level of disappointment as a result. Needing to connect. Search for, I mean, I'm kind of hearing it as like, you know, getting things off your chest, really speaking to someone that you hold in high regard, maybe someone who you feel is really wise or has their life together, you know, someone who can give you good guidance and direction that's coming from a grounded space. Walking away from something, but also calling in something new. It's change, it's growth, it's allowing, there it is. Okay, so it's allowing the heartbreak to invite in the new. And changing your approach, how you do things, you know, how you show up in relationships. This is about having options, that it doesn't have to just be look one way. And there's always ways to navigate through things, like embody a certain type of energy, right? Like, I feel like heartbreak comes when things need to be cleared out, when we're holding on to something too tightly. And that's where that grief comes into play. And I think you're really afraid about that, of how it's gonna look after the fact, once the old has completely gone away. So like I said, I feel like there's a lot of value that comes into play with reaching out to friends, family, loved one. It's like just finding the balance forward right now, Gemini. Like, you're dealing with a lot of the dualities in life, and you have to know how to rein those forces so it works for you. It's not as much about 333 is on the clock. It's not as much about how it's working for the other person or the situation. You just have to see it for what it is. How, you know, I keep hearing that, like, how the cookie crumbles. Whatever's happened, the way the pieces fell, it's time to recognize and see what you have to work with. The Six of Swords, moving towards better things, calmer waters. It's actually going to be a really positive change. I think there's a lot of good opportunity, conventional ways of being, more outside of the box, inventive, finding what works for you. But just make sure that you're not getting caught up in something that you don't want. Oh, I don't even know what that is. Okay, the Empress. So there's like some abundance coming in for you 100% with this Nine of Cups. This is really speaking to taking a lot of time to think through. There's something that you want with someone, or this is like a direction you want to head. Maybe this is brand new for you, kind of territory you haven't really navigated before. But you're sitting on it, you're thinking about it. There's some new type of potential that is underneath the surface, but the problem is you're not listening to yourself. And that's kind of where, you know, sometimes like it's always good to get other people's opinions, etc. But this is more about you and what's the right next step for you, Gemini. It's not as much about what their opinions are. The Magician, someone working really hard to build and grow. Maybe, I don't know, like navigating a lot of different odds, a lot of different people, places, and things. Yeah, there's that Tower energy. So the Tower is very similar to that concept of the Phoenix I was talking about earlier, where it's like you just have to let the pieces fall. For whatever situation that you're dealing with, it fell apart. It needed to. It was a wobbly structure, right? Is it like that foundation on sand is what I'm hearing. And so maybe they had a huge chunk of it fall apart, and so now they're kind of like figuring out what's there. Struggling to be rational, analytical. We see that a couple different times, right? This need for justice energy, that's Libra energy. So it's diplomacy, seeing the bigger picture. That kind of goes back to what I was saying about not always relying on people's opinion. Sometimes we have to do the discovery for ourselves, right, Gemini? And that's actually helping bring more clarity, more insight. Because there is something that you want out of this. Maybe you don't know how to approach it, what direction to take. There's that Queen of Swords to our King of Swords. So both these energies are being blocked, you know, and really the King and Queen of Swords are just known for being diplomatic. It's the pros and cons list. It's the rationale behind something. What makes the most sense? It's not as much a decision that's based on like feeling or emotion or, you know, being the best. It's just about, it is a decision about abundance, like what is actually going to be the most fruitful endeavor. And that's kind of getting held up, and perhaps with this girl talk energy, people that you're relying on, this person is also going through their own set of chaos. Maybe you're watching them go through this, right? Kind of seeing how it all plays out, what happens. Is it worth the time, the energy, the reinvestment, etc.? You just, yeah, I mean, I get that. It's like not wanting to go down that road yet again. You don't want to go down the road of the past for some reason. And that's where this heartbroken energy comes into play, whether it's you doing the heartbreaking or feeling like you have to protect yourself so you don't get heartbroken in this situation. There is something positive and abundant here for you. Let's see what this, I'm going to pull a few more because, like I said, it shows you wanting something from this, but kind of like playing around with your options, seeing what's available, how they move, and then matching their actions accordingly. Yeah. So I think that there's some instability coming from this Tower moment for them. Not feeling very grounded, not feeling a lot of reciprocity. Maybe they've lost what they've built to date, because we see that element of destruction, things falling apart. Maybe it's not everything, but it does feel like there's a lot going on in this energy, and you're just kind of watching, waiting to see how it's all going to... And, you know, that might not always be the smartest choice, right? Because sometimes we can wait too long and then we don't receive the opportunity that we're looking for or that we had originally thought. Yeah. So be careful with waiting too long, because this heartbreak, it's really talking about like new beginnings being prevented. Like if you wait too long, the offer might not be on the table anymore. And the hesitancy, like I said, I mean, there's movement as things progress for you guys. There is movement. Yeah, like this energy of what does the past bring with it? And not really wanting to be brave enough maybe at this point to see. I think you like what you see. I think you like what's available. But for some reason, yeah, you just want to wait on it, Gemini. Waiting to see. It's like when we're uncertain of something. So all we know how to do is wait. We're not convinced, yeah, because from your perspective, it looks like there still is a lot happening, a lot going on, and so you don't want to make one decision one way or the other. It's actually you listening to your intuition, which I think this is obviously smart to do. Maybe it's not the time, and again, you're listening, tuning into that. Letting things change and then readdressing the situation. Waiting to see how things manifest. If it's, you know, too good to be true. I don't know. If you have a runner, right? Yeah, like it has to be equal. I feel like you want to make sure that what you're pouring into is going to have longevity behind it. It's going to last long term. You don't want this like fly by the seat of your pants. But I do think it is attached to some fear, and I think that fear is really worth looking at, Gemini. Sometimes our fear makes it out to be worse than what it is, you know, and we just have to have, you know, some self-realization around the dynamic. Maybe we need to gather more information, like I said. When we don't have all the pieces, we don't really know what options we have or how we can play with them in the highest and best way. So again, this is just the energy for this next week. I hope that it helps though. I hope it helps with whatever situation you're navigating through. Sending lots of love and blessings and good vibes. I really appreciate the love and support to the channel. Thank you always. Big thumbs up if it resonated. Drop comments below. Let's build and grow the community. All right, Gemini, thanks so much for tuning in. Lots of love your way.